Hi, welcome to HotDocs Academy. In this video, we'll be reviewing the default unanswered variable placeholder settings in HotDocs and their hierarchy. Just to recap, a variable is a component that is used to represent changeable text such as names, dates, and numbers, to name a few examples. The first thing that you'll need to do, if you haven't already, is launch HotDocs Developer. Once you have your developer up, open up the separation agreement by clicking the Edit button on the HotDocs toolbar. Then go ahead and open up the Component Manager. The first setting we're going to review is within the variable editor. Let's say our client is being separated from a spouse, but she doesn't have a new street address to provide at this time. So let's find the variable spouse street address 1, which is located right here, and we're going to go ahead and right-click on it. Since we're reviewing the setting in the variable editor, we want to choose Edit Component. As you may notice, there's 5 tabs to choose from in the text variable editor. So we're going to go ahead and click on Advanced. And down below, under the Default Merge Field Properties section, we want to get to this unanswered text setting in this bar. Any text that you input into this bar will merge in place of the unanswered variable. Let's go ahead and put street address unknown and click Test. We're not going to answer our variable, and let's see what the result is. Street address unknown. Let's go ahead and X out of here. When this unanswered text is specified at the variable editor, the placeholder becomes the default for the variable and it will be used throughout the document unless a field-specific placeholder is specified within the variable field. So let's go ahead and click OK here, and we'll move on to the variable field editor. So let's right-click and choose Edit Field. And you'll see it's using the defaults of the unanswered text that we input at the variable editor. So let's go ahead and click on this check mark and change the text at the variable field editor. Let's go ahead and delete street and just have address unknown. And click OK. Let's go ahead and test the variable. We're going to go ahead and leave the street address blank and hit Document Preview. And you'll see here it says address unknown. And that's what we put in the variable field editor. So this placeholder is used only for that specific instance of the variable, and the setting within the variable field will override any placeholders you have specified at the variable editor. Now let's move along to the unanswered variable placeholder setting in our component manager. What you need to do is click on this icon over here, and it will bring up our component file properties. Click on the Assembly tab, and you'll notice down here it says Unanswered Variable Placeholder. Currently, I have it set to this placeholder. Let's change it to underscores. So where does this unanswered placeholder setting fall within the hierarchy? When selecting the unanswered variable placeholder within the component file properties, the placeholder we set will only apply to variables that do not have a default or a field-specific placeholder assigned. Let's click OK and test the setting. Since we know setting a placeholder for an unanswered variable within the component file will not apply to variables that have a default or a field-specific placeholder assigned, we know that it will not apply to our variable spouse street address 1. So let's leave the variable client first name unanswered in our interview when testing. Go ahead and highlight the first paragraph, and then click the Test as Symbol button up here. Let's go to our client information dialog, and then remove the client first name Bob. Hit the Document Preview button over here, and as you can see, the unanswered client first name variable is now replaced by an underscore, which was our chosen unanswered variable placeholder under the component file properties. And the unanswered spouse street address 1 variable still reflects the text we specified at the variable field editor. The final unanswered variable placeholder setting we have left to review is a setting located in HotDocs Options, located on our HotDocs Library toolbar. You may access this option from the toolbar within the HotDocs library once you have your document closed. Please note, as best practice, choose the Save and Close icon located here when exiting your document. The HotDocs Options icon is located at the top of the HotDocs Library toolbar. Click on the icon and you'll notice that the HotDocs Options is organized and categorized by folders. Click on the Document Assembly folder and you'll see under Assembled Document there's a field here, Unanswered Variable Placeholder, and this setting will allow you to choose any of these options for your placeholder. When users assemble documents, this allows them to have some control over which placeholder will be used if any variables are left unanswered in the interview. However, any settings we previously discussed in this video will override this setting. I hope you've enjoyed this video about the 4 default unanswered placeholder settings available to you within HotDocs Developer.